Building.
Yeah, definitely in the building. Let's open up this chat box. So we have a chat. Where's the chat thing at? Okay,
I got
boom. Yeah, it's there.
people texting me trying to see what's up. I'm about to tell them, say, hey, we working over here. If you want to see what we doing, you gonna have to, you know what I mean, check in. Because right now, you in the way of my chin neck, you know what I'm saying? That's not for me, you feel me?
Tell them slide on you.
Right.
I wonder, can you actually see when people join? Oh, it does have. Oh, sweet. It does have it. Mm.
That's right, because you doing you the host with the most right now. You doing the hosting, and then you gotta do the back room, maintain the sound system, control board, that type of thing.
Yeah, for real.
Real talk. Don't understand that the independent business thing is not. It's not as easy as it looks. Even if a lot of it has been automated, it still work. Yeah.
Um, so everything looks good still. Could you see the same thing from before? Everything you see the screen, all the.
Mhm. Everything looking lovely. Setup looking officially official. Uh, Let me see. I don't see nothing moved around or nothing like that. You
Everything's
know.
everything.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube and Instagram, or not Instagram, sorry, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook,
Dope. We in there like somewhere.
Twitch. I don't really.
Yeah. We try and put the pieces together. Finish the assembly. Things is a work in progress.
Mhm.
Hold up. Excuse me. Gus had Gus said he had to hit the gig. He had some OT he had to put in,
Nice.
but he said he gonna be plugging in the near future because he's usually off on Monday.
I see. Peace, y'all. Welcome.
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's all sick with it. My bad, y'all. Don't mean to be rude and not having the eye contact with the phone right now. You know what I'm saying? But we getting started and we about to spark it. So we appreciate y'all joining us and we're gonna break this thing down for y'all. You know what I mean?
Yes, let's a few more people get in here.
Well, by the way, looking stunning. I like the color scheme. I like the layout. The jacket is like, yes,
Jacket's on
salute.
point, right?
Yeah, I like that.
This is a thrift find. I'm a thrifter. I'm an avid thrifter, like mad thrifter, like
Oh,
love thrift stores. Yeah, like super junky. And this is a thrift find. The moment I saw this, I was like, oh, I
okay.
had to have it. Yeah, definitely had to have it.
I can see that. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, I would have never thought thrift store, but that's definitely like a piece. If I'd have seen something like that myself, I mean, I imagine they, it probably was
Hmm.
in the women's section somewhere. So I don't want nobody to get the wrong picture. But I'm just saying, like,
But if
it's
you
one of
saw a
them, like,
men's piece that was
yeah,
creative,
or
it's like,
comparable or something, that joint stand out. Like, really in
yeah,
this,
dope.
yeah, I like that.
I like that
Hmm.
it's like Two Face, but in a jacket. And if you really know me, you know that I don't match my shit, but I coordinate my shit. Like I don't like my things to be exactly the same. Like, but
Right.
I like my shit to be coordinated. You feel me?
Got to
So
coordinate. You got to
you
coordinate.
got to coordinate.
See, you don't know
So
nothing about
like,
that.
yeah, like there's that's just how I am. So like this jacket is like a total representation of my style.
Right. Hey, I hear that loud and
Doesn't
clear.
match, but it coordinates. God damn it.
I hear that loud and clear. It look like we about to coordinate some stuff now. They like, what in the world is that? How
Peace,
the
y'all. What's going on? Peace, y'all.
but not with the
Welcome. Please feel free to type in chat and ask questions. Like, what are y'all talking about? What's going on? Because we're just waiting on a few people to get in here so that we can get going and get started.
all right.
Welcome.
Real talk.
Peace, love, and positive vibes to you.
Salute.
Yeah, so
Yo, but you said it was kind of chilly out there though. So what we
it's
looking at right
freezing.
now?
I don't know. It's cold. It's Minnesota. It's it's Minnesota, and actually, this time of year, it's give or take. You never know. It could either be freezing cold or it could be like randomly warm. Right now, it's 30. I guess that's not too terribly bad considering it's nighttime and the sun is down.
That's
But the high was only 36, so.
that's maintaining a positive attitude. I like that.
But the high was only 36, so. And we haven't
Right.
hit the low yet.
Yeah,
So there's that.
Yeah, it's Minnesota, so you ain't have to say too much. I mean, Philly's not too far different, but
Yeah,
I ain't no fan of
it's
that.
a little bit warmer.
Like 10 degrees, maybe. You can't tell the
Yeah.
difference, though. If you're outside, you can freeze your nuts off or whatever you got, Hope that ain't offend nobody, but, military.
Or whatever you got.
Yeah. It's
You're going to
cold.
freeze something off. Something's going to freeze off of you.
Yes. It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold regardless. And, like, even if it was 60 degrees right now, to me, it would be cold. So.
Yo, it's funny you say that because it feels like, and maybe it's just me, but it feels like 60 degrees in the spring is like awesome. But like 60 degrees in the fall going into the winter is like, man, hold up, what happened? Who just switched it? Like, who just changed the season overnight like that? Like,
For
it just
real.
feels really, really dramatically different. It's the same number. Maybe it's just me and my perspective.
No, it's not just you. It's facts. Literally, I made a post about that on Facebook. Like, 60 degrees in the spring is not the same 60 degrees in the fall, or something to that effect. Anyways, because facts, like, I think it has something to do with the fact that like it's really cold all winter long. So when we hit 60 degrees, it's like, damn, it's warm as hell because you're coming from like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're coming from like you're coming from, now I wouldn't say single digits, but you're coming from like, 15, 20 degrees.
Maybe where you from, it might be, 0
Sometimes
degrees
it
on a
is.
regular. It doesn't, every winter in
Sometimes
Philly
it
is
is.
kind of different, but some winters get bad. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember like snowstorms and ice storms and stuff like that. So I just know, listen, my entire life I've been thinking I'll probably find myself, retiring somewhere very significantly warmer. Because this cold is but not for me.
It's
You
not
feel
for
me?
me.
Those
I
dice.
feel that. It's not for me either, too. Or either, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. So it's not for me either.
Right.
Because definitely, even though I was born in Minnesota, like, I don't care. I'm never ready for the winter when it comes. I hate it. Like, I'm literally the biggest crybaby about how cold it is. Like,
Right.
I'm the first one to be like, it's cold. I'm cold. Like, it's cold. I don't like it.
Hey, listen.
And I definitely belong someplace tropical. Like right now, my hands, you've seen how many times have I put lotion on since you and I have been talking in a visual manner? Like probably 3 times. Like my skin is always feeling like alligator skin. I can't dig it. I need to be someplace warm and tropical.
I heard that. Yeah, I'm not no big fan of the snow and all that stuff. I'm cool with watching it on TV. I get the same effect. The winter
I shake up a snow
wonderland.
globe if I want to see some snow, man. Fuck all
Yeah,
that
I'm
shit.
content with that. I can live vicariously through people who like to ski and do
Yeah.
stuff like that. I've never been to average, no interest, but you can
Me
tell
too.
me
I
how.
can do that through ESPN though when
Yeah.
the X Games comes on.
Exactly, that's me. That's my experience. I'll experience that virtually, but the real time, but not for me. I'm cool.
But not for me. I do not like The snow is really pretty though, like low key. It's really pretty. So like when it very first snows, I'm like, oh, that's pretty. Okay, that's enough. Um,
That's it.
you guys can have it now. At this point, you
Right.
can just take it back. I'm cool on that.
Right. Just real quick. I seen all I need to see.
Exactly. That was pretty. Take a picture. Okay. So what's the next exhibit? Is it
Right.
sunshine?
Right.
You know what's really crazy though? Speaking of snow, like we actually just got our first snow a couple days ago, right? And I find it really odd because probably 2 3 days, maybe three four, I don't know, not very many days before that, not enough days before that, it was like 70 degrees outside, in the high 60s, close to 70 degrees outside. And then it snowed just a few days later, and yet randomly it's still on the ground, like
Hey. Yeah. Listen, man. I can't even begin to imagine how people like just stay in environments where the snow never leaves. You know, it's there 365, what may have you. Um, I guess like the Eskimos, what may have you. But I can't. I don't know, man. I appreciated the snow more as a kid, maybe because I
yeah.
was younger and maybe a little bit more fortified, I guess, against the effects of it. Because I do
Mm-hmm.
remember, you come in and you soaking wet, and it was like, well, what did you do? We rolled around in the snow for maybe 6 8 hours, didn't get paid. It wasn't like you was working for the city or something. You're out there in the snow for no real reason, and you come in and you're happy about it. And then it's
Man.
like you grow up, and then reality sets in. Your body starts to tell you like you're not happy that you was out there pretending to be like a frozen dinner or something like that. Like, what did you really accomplish by getting snow down your trousers and into the
And in
crevices
your
of your
boots.
nether regions? Like, nah, it's no need for all that.
Nether
I
regions.
can look at that on TV. So. I mean, like I said, it's good. I ain't really trying to be like a Grinch or anything like that, but I just think that it kind of relates to what we would talk about, and the whole concept. Like
Yeah.
certain things that as a child you be willing to accept just because it's how you grow up. But it's like
Right.
I'm an
Because you didn't
adult
know any
now.
better.
I'm literally planning on relocating. Like this is but not for me. I don't want to spend no winter shoveling nothing. I
Uh-uh.
don't want to do that. Let the snow
Uh,
stay on the ground. It fell. It came from the sky. It's supposed to be there. I ain't gonna put it back in the air. It's gonna come right back down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's gonna fall on your head.
yeah. So
Yo, what's up, everybody that's tuning in, man? Appreciate y'all for coming through. Peace, love, and positive vibes to everybody. Like the comments coming in and stuff. What's up, Chosen? How you doing? Nice to see you. So Sick and I, we had this idea that we would talk about some shit, and we've been doing this for a while. This has been our baby for a minute, you guys. And so we're just kind of finally doing like a little soft launch tonight. We just want to kind of see how y'all feel, where y'all are at, check in with our people, kind of let y'all know what it is that we got going on and what we're planning to do.
real talk.
So, yeah. Y'all know me. I'm Melody Waters. Melody motherfucking Waters if you're nasty. No, I'm just kidding. So,
I guess that's why you got me on board. Sick with it. You know what I mean?
y'all already know me for the most part. I mean, unless you're coming from Sick's side, which even if you're coming from Sick's side, you probably still know me because Sick used to come on the juice. He was like a staple on the juice, a regular attender. He would even pop in sometimes on question nights when when everybody canceled. I'd have question nights, and or just random people could pop on the show and Sick would come through. So definitely his people probably know who I am too. So I guess I don't really need too much of an introduction. Plus, you get to know me a little more as we go along. But
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you don't know the world renowned, you must not be from Minnesota or something. I don't know. Or you ain't never been online. That's smell of the F and Waters. Excuse me, MF and Waters. Okay.
right.
No, my
Don't forget
name
the
R Sick with it.
motherfucking.
How about it, right? My name is R Sick with it. It's what I go by was Don that by my man Tommy Guns. Ron is my government. You'll get to know me more as well. But I don't know, man. I'm a military veteran. I'm just an all around regular person, and I know a lot of people make that statement, but I'm growing into that every day, and
Hmm.
I think that's where this whole concept kind of came from because a lot of the conversations that you and I have had, Mel, has been like, man, I ain't with this. I ain't with this. My name is with it, and I ain't with it. Like, man, but not for me. You feel me? Like,
Right. I'm sick with it.
yeah, so many things in this society and in life you just kind of got to sit back and think about. And, it might be something as simple as, the weather and, why you live in an environment or a region that you don't particularly like Philly with with the cold and the snow. I love Philly. I just don't like the winters. But, you just got to, I guess it's kind of maturity, right? And growing and evolving in the way that you think. So, that's really a part of where the conversation came from. And then the other side of it was like, well, we, especially with what's going on in the world now, it's like people don't really get the chance to kind of be this transparent, I guess, or at least
Right.
from what I'm, observing and experiencing. So not only have we, had the benefit of building, as far as talking and communicating about things that really matter to us, but like this is really the culture that like maintains humanity and people being able to interact with each other civilly and things of that nature. So I'm all for that, and all the other stuff is not for me.
Facts.
That's like the best way I could kind of put it into a nutshell. So definitely salute to everybody. Chosen one, salute for the comments. We really appreciate that. People, checking us out and being a part of this, and really more than anything, participating because
Yeah.
we really want this to evolve into a community and really help make it a safe and nurturing space for
Right.
people to really evolve as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about a lot of things that might be perceived as controversial or, you know,
Right.
taboo, whatever. But it is all part of the fact that, like, why can't we talk about it? Like,
Exactly.
we adults, like, why can't we explore the things people saying or they're saying we can't explore?
Yep.
That's monotony.
Definitely. And with like all the censorship and things going on, people are not really given a voice. And I love that you said community, because that's exactly like anyone who knows me and has followed the juice or anything like that knows that, like, that's what I'm about. Like, I'm about supporting the community and having a voice, and people have being given a voice. So this is the opportunity for us to be given a voice, and that includes our audience to be given a voice, because we also want to give you a voice as well, in this on this platform.
My
Um,
bad, y'all. That's my ghetto furnace making this noise because it's the winter time. Furnace don't like the winter neither. He don't want to work in the winter time. It's the only time of the year, 3 months of the year, I ask you to just turn the heat on in the house. And he like, no, it's too cold in this mug. My bad.
right. He said, "Fuck that shit."
Right? You're
But
fired.
so, like, basically, like, our whole concept is we talk about the things that people think about and maybe want to talk about but won't, or feel like they can't talk about. We want to be your voice, and also be a voice for ourselves and on behalf of the people, I guess, in a sense, because you know we're both very adamant about people being allowed to be who they are, and just live peacefully, and have a choice in everything that you do in your life. I mean, it's your life. You should be able to live it how you want. We weren't put on this earth to just, like, work 9 to 5 jobs and literally, like, we weren't put here for that kind of stuff. So,
But not for
like, this
me.
is just like the subjects and content that we intend to bring is things that you see everyday life. It could be anything. It could be from what you might see in mainstream media. We could be talking about spirituality. We may be talking about health and wellness. We will be talking about all different types of subjects. And a lot of the things is, like I said, stuff that people may be considered to be taboo, or might be considered to be quote unquote conspiracy theory type information, an alternative information. And the point is not to necessarily change your mind or persuade your opinions or make you think anything that you don't want to think. It's more to open your mind and to give you the opportunity to question things, because you should question everything.
Agreed.
Even everything I say to you, you should question and do your own research. Don't just
Agreed.
take my words and run with them, because who the fuck am I?
Please.
I'm an
Please.
educated woman, very educated woman, but I'm also not the beginning and end all. You know what I mean? Like there's so much more information than I possibly have obtained in my life thus far.
Right. And I
So
mean,
even question what we say and do your own research.
it's a healthy thing to do in general
Hmm.
because, again, we talking about, again, we can't talk about certain topics. Are we children?
Yeah, censorship sucks, and censorship is bullshit.
We
And
can't talk about certain topics.
no, fuck that
We
shit.
can't use certain
That's
words.
monotphony.
Like that kind of, again, as a veteran, is kind of like that's contrary to everything I really understand and stand
Everything you
for.
fought for.
Yeah, and then we get into the whole service, what I serve for, right? So I
Or
mean,
for, excuse me.
well, yeah, whatever, faults or whatever. But I'm just saying in terms of like that, that's just splitting the hair there. Like I'm thinking about it from the civilian side that before I went into the service, I went into serve and protect a country, or from the angle of the freest country in the world, the greatest country in the world, because of our freedoms, because of our ability to say what we think and feel, how and when we feel it. And that's not necessarily endorsing like, just spreading, rumors or like lying and like just straight up slandering people and things
Right.
of that nature. But talking
Right.
about at least having the like no penalty, no repercussion for having the ability to express yourself even if you're wrong and
Hmm.
your information like that. That's a distinct benefit that I grew up knowing that America and Americans held. A lot of countries, you can't think about North Korea. We hear it all the time. North
Right.
Korea is shown very specific type of media. The movies all talk about the greatness of the nation. They have
Hmm.
no like real individual stars and stuff like how we have here in entertainment, sports, etc. So, and I mean, they have a few representatives, but not nothing like in America. So, those are the things you would say. I'm gonna put my life on the line for me and anybody else that's born here, because it's only right that if we got to stop other people from trying to take it from us, then that's worth putting your life on the line for. But then when them other people is the people you supposed to be working under or you know, uh, paying respect and serving under nah, that's the stuff that our history teaches us. The Constitution, the Boston Tea Party, and all that other stuff happened. It's America because they was like, no, it's not for me. I'm not paying taxes to the king, King George. He always crossed the Atlantic, and he want me to pay extra taxes on this bag of Nestle or Lipton tea. Come on, that's not for me,
He
man. I'm
said
not doing that.
Nestle Lipton tea.
Hell out of
I'm
here.
done.
But that's our country. That's our spirit as Americans.
Yeah.
So it's not for the nature of being divisive. It's about maintaining your autonomy or your ability to be human.
Hmm.
Like you said, double check what we say. If we present
Yeah.
some stuff that's informative and information based, you should be able to verify it. It ain't about what we saying. It's about presenting facts. And
Right.
again, it ain't even like this ain't even that the show ain't even just on that. It's just there's gonna be times when we speak in our minds and sharing different content that it makes sense to talk about it from an academic level, I guess. But yeah, man, I mean, these people just need to get with the program in terms of understanding that everybody not going for that. I'm just gonna sit here and do what you tell me to do just because you said it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a big problem with listening and just waiting for daddy to tell me what to do. I got an issue about that. So
Yeah, right.
I,
That's
free
that's not the
thinking
world.
and free speech are inalienable rights.
Right.
And
Yeah, because you don't even have to
that's
legislate it. Truth be told, like
all there is to it.
we grew up in a custom and society that says everybody sit in a room, 30, 40 people in a room, everybody quiet, one person talk at a time. That's the mainstream culture. That's the education system. And while that serve a purpose in certain places, you look at 30 people in another setting, they all relatives. Everybody ain't sitting there waiting till one person stop talking for the next person to talk.
Mm.
People talking in unison, almost like a choir even, and you can hear the multitude of things being said simultaneously. So really it's like we're not opposed to things that work if they work for you. But if it
Right.
don't work for me, you're not gonna force it on me.
That's the problem.
Not gonna force it
Is
on me.
everybody is expected to fit inside of like this box, and nobody fits in that box.
Nobody.
Nobody fits in the box.
Nobody.
And why would you want to? Like, honestly.
Whoever came up with the box don't even fit in the
Oh,
box.
fuck that box.
Exactly. Why are we putting people in boxes anyway? Especially living people.
Hell no.
Put dead people in boxes.
I don't even want to do that.
We don't, but I'm just saying in terms of society speaking, that's what the people wind up in boxes, your corpses.
And death is a matter of perspective, honestly. It's really just you left that body behind because it couldn't carry on anymore. You were done with it. You left it
You,
on
you
behind
about to
onto
get
better things.
you about to
Onto
get
other
crazy
things.
deep on them right there, Mel.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I'm
We'll
with you
come
though.
back to that another time.
I'm with you. I'm just saying though. I mean, just from an angle of where people are, I think, and experience is like I'm all right with hey, if you're with the masses and you're with the group thought, then go for it. But that's not for
Yeah.
me. I
Yeah.
tried it. I did. I served in the U.S.
Did you?
military.
You tried it.
I've tried being the individual that lives up to all the social standards, and
Oh.
I wasn't necessarily like a straight A student or nothing, but I might have made honor roll once or twice in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
literally, I maybe once or twice, and I'm not. It's not the brag. It's just saying that you think about it. Growing up, you always told be the kid that gets the good grades, be the
Right.
kid that's well behaved, be the kid that does
Yeah.
all the things that the kids are told to do.
Uh
And majority of them kids that do what they told to do spend their whole lives being told what to do.
huh. And the saddest part is that they tell you to do all that so that you can what? So that you can get a good job and be a good productive member of society, right?
Yeah, that's a whole nother lie in itself. I mean, we understand maybe at one point it might have worked that way, but I mean, come on, last year people that was doing all that had good jobs and was doing the right thing.
Mm.
They a lot of them people don't even have their jobs no more, and they was being compliant and doing the right thing, and that's why I said that type of stuff. That's not for me. Like
No, I can't fuck
if
with it.
that's the case, let's be about being industrious and be entrepreneurial mindsets, because clearly working for some people is going to just leave you kind of bent over taking the shaft. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Pardon me
Mm-hmm.
for putting it that way. For anybody don't want to hear that type terminology, but it just is what it is. Like anytime you ask somebody to do something for you, you kind of stand in a position to get bent over. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But not for me. But not for me.
Can't get with
But not for
it. I can't get with it. I can't get with it. I have too many questions as
me.
it is.
Drop. Spit. Go.
No, I'm just saying I would have too many questions on anything. Like
All right.
I can't just. I have to do my own research on things, and that does not include like just watching CNN. Like I really encourage people to find alternative resources to their news and what kind of information that they gain, because it's really so much more out here than just watching TV. And I mean, people who are going to automatically gravitate to what we're doing are probably already not people who watch TV consistently and who they probably already do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to grab people too who will stop in just out of curiosity and maybe possibly give you some alternatives, like so that you can see other perspectives. Because even if you don't agree with a perspective, it's still relative, and it's still useful. Because in order to actually come up with what your perception of the truth is, you have to be able to see more than just one side. So if you're constantly being force fed only one side of something, you can't possibly come up with an honest evaluation. Like you just can't. You have to see both sides, and you have to really take both sides into consideration. Sometimes it's really fucking obvious. Like, no, this is straight bullshit. Like, there's some things that are just like that. I mean, at least
Right.
for some of us, not everybody sees that. That's one thing that I have to remind myself on all the time. Sick. I don't know. This is something that I've been really like working on with self lately. Is like reminding myself that everybody's not me. Like,
Right.
do you find yourself doing that? I find myself doing that on a daily basis. Like, everybody's not you. Everybody is not you. Everybody is not you. They don't think like you. They don't move like you. They don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think in that way and a little bit different in that I gotta remind myself kind of like the things that I'm thinking about people aren't thinking about.
yeah.
So
Okay.
it's similar to like they're not me, I'm not
They don't
them.
think like me. They don't move like me.
The things that I might raise and I'm like, this matters. And their response is like, what are you talking about?
Right. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying like that's just another example of that. Like and these could be people that could be close to you, people
Mm-hmm.
who you trying to really like you talking to them face to face and they just don't fully see it. It happens sometimes. So I think for me, that was one of the things I had to kind of even be like, you know what, life is an experience. So if I could just stay focused on like respecting my experience, it'll help me to respect other people's experience.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part for me personally, I think, and respect, like staying in that balance is uh, when you get personally wounded or personally you feel attacked or threatened. Um, I think your emotions, your natural self defenses can kick in, and that's when it's real easy to not understand or not remember that. But I think
Mm.
that's a life you always gonna have to deal with that in life because that's part of being human. And so
Yeah.
that's another reason why I value this type of space for these types of communication, this type of communication, because you know, somebody hit me up one time on a book and I made a comment and they said something to the effect that it was like, yeah, well, you're an ideologue.
Ideologue.
Yeah. And I guess by that they meant like a person who's almost like idealist. Like all they think about is like the perfect outcome,
Mm.
but they're not actually practical in like the way things play out in real world, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my interpretation of that meaning, right? And
It's my first time hearing that word. I don't know.
I heard it before, but I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't really bothered to look it up because I could tell from what the
You know
person
me,
was
I'm real
saying.
quick to pop the dictionary open.
Yeah, you do real quick, and you'll catch them if they change something in the dictionary
Ah,
too. You be
yes,
on the point
yes.
with
You
that. You
can't
know what I
play with
mean?
me.
But it's like I just
I'll be
understood the
missing
gist
shit.
of it was the person was they was kind of like what you call it they I guess they felt triggered by something I said or whatever
Mm.
I wrote, and it was like I got caught off guard by their response, but not
Uh-huh.
offended. It actually made me think about it from the angle of, well, you know what, you're right. I am being an ideologue. I am thinking of it from a more like best outcome. What's the
Is
best
there
way to
something wrong with doing that though?
bang? And not only is there something wrong with it, but everybody does it. And that was pretty much my response was like, well, thanks for recognizing the obvious. We all are ideologues on some level. That's a part of maturing. You come to realize that what you thought would be the greatest thing for you and or everybody you even thinking about, reality sets in and says, "Oh no, it's not. It's
Mm.
not as clean and dry, cut and dry as you think it is." The ideologue, the true ideologue, gets bent out of shape and can't accept the just reality with their vision. I know that ain't me. I've been dealing with accepted reality my whole life, so I adjust quick on the fly. The Marine Corps reinforced that. So like I can't really shake that part of my DNA, but yeah, I do got ideas about how the best way things could go, and everybody does because we all sitting from a position of what's most important to us. That's
Right.
part of being alive, you know. So that's not worth, I don't think, penalizing or punishing nobody, but or criticizing. But I learned how to take that in the court. You criticize me all day, that in of itself is not.
Mm.
I don't care about that. And then being in the hood, people talk about you. That's what they do
Right.
first. They toughen you up. Like ain't nobody
Right.
trying to really be your friend until you prove that you worth being friends with. So I get it, but here's the flip side of it. You ain't the only person with the opportunity to make a decision about somebody's worth.
Mm-hmm.
I can reject you just as easily as you reject me.
Facts.
I don't gotta feel like I gotta be, accepted by your opinion. And that's the thing. That's why Monot for me really is what it is. It's like, I think one of the biggest things impacting American society, and it's just my perspective, but it's like at some point we went from being a culture as a nation where we understood hard work was a key element to success and being upwardly mobile in terms of your social status, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere between, I guess, maybe the 80s to the 90s, things kind of went real crazy in a different direction. And I'm just saying that time frame because truth be told, probably has always been going crazy. But just I can remember stuff in the 80s and the 90s really seeming to really just be different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that being said, it's like I just kind of realized, like, man, we get caught up in these short versions of what life is. Life ain't about what I think. It ain't about what you think. How about this? Life ain't even about what you think plus what I think. It's about the combination of everything that's happening and the things that none of us is thinking about.
Mm.
So, yeah, go ahead for that. Play with that mentally. Let it mess your brain up for a second. But that's the fault. That's the
And rattle
shortfall
that
of
around for a little bit.
right. But that's the shortfall of society and group think a lot of times is that people so quick to run to the benefits of being in the group, and we can get more together if we all like kind of get in on this heist together, right? But
Mm-hmm.
everybody ain't committed to the group,
Right.
so the individual members bring pieces and fragments, and that's what you see in corporations. That's what you see in a lot of these I'll say sterilized facsimiles of community.
Mm.
We want some enough for me. Like I ain't
He
got no
said
problem.
sterilized facsimiles of community.
Real talk.
Lords.
That's what it is. It's just all this stuff you see is some type of way trying to replicate what nature already perfected.
Man.
We just so far off because our roots has been broken. You know what I'm saying? And our roots is
Oh, they've
broken.
definitely disassociated
Yeah.
motherfuckers from like shit that really matters. For
And
example, like you're saying right now, nature. Nature is major. Like if people, man, look, I had
hmm
a talk with my son about this the other day, talking about nature and like how we literally are a piece of nature. Like our bodies, not us, but our bodies,
right.
temples that we utilize while we're on this earth plane in this life.
hmm
Um, they're from the earth. That's why if they were allowed to just break down and biodegrade into the earth like they're supposed to, instead of being stuck inside of a fucking box,
hmm
and filled with embalming fluid so that they don't biodegrade, they would nurture the earth. They would nourish the earth. They would literally break down and literally give nutrition to so many things, different bugs, the plant life in the area, maybe an animal, multiple things, worms, all types of things are going to break down and utilize the body,
hmm
nature. So that should tell you right there, if we are that close to nature, that we are literally a part of nature. If you look at us, our chemical makeup is very similar to many things found in nature. Everything that we are made up of
hmm
is natural.
Yep.
uh, so why would we ever think that synthetic things would be more beneficial to us than something natural?
Listen,
Whether it
it's
be food, whether it be medication, or what we consider to be medicine, the words "let food be thy medicine" are so powerful, because if
right.
people only knew,
Mm-hmm.
if you knew better, you do
Facts.
better.
I mean, is that question. I had rattled it around in my head a lot about why you like you said, you think about we are from the earth, in terms of our temple, like why we disassociate with that, right?
Mm.
And
Oh, we are disassociated from birth, though.
bang.
Actually, let me go even as far as to say before birth, because we are affected by vibration from the time of conception.
Hey, listen, ain't no disputing the things that I'm just starting to dabble in, because I
Mm.
don't know enough, but I know I do understand those some elements of what you said, right? But I'm looking at it from the angle of during our journey while we
Even
here.
ultrasounds, by the way. Be careful how many
That
of
don't
those you do.
surprise me. That don't surprise me neither, because it's like this that for people who are born into that, they like, what the hell are y'all talking about?
I know.
But obviously we wasn't born into that. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? At least some aspects of our experiences growing up was so much different from what was seen normal to everybody else, wondering why we even talking about all these things, right? But
Right.
it's like the
Although I'm telling you, people in our age group have really shocked me in the last couple
well,
of
see,
years.
yeah, our group,
I have been eyes wide open
our
to
group,
a lot of people, and think I never realized they thought the way that they thought, or
I
had
would
the
say
beliefs
our
they had.
our age group is probably responsible for half the stuff that we consider undesirable right now. To be honest,
Not
I
for
mean,
me.
because it just if you look at it like real talk, I mean, we really are contemporaries with Kanye West, Jeff Bezos. Um, Trying to think who else is in
Jeff
that range.
Bezos is.
He may be about 10 years. He might got us by about a dime,
Oh.
if that. You understand what I'm saying? So when you start looking at it, it's like the reality of it is somebody somewhere had the money and the means to do this stuff, and they thought about the same types of things we was thinking about when we was kids. Only difference was they actually was able to put some things in motion. Um,
Hmm.
and when it gets down to, again, when we talking about why people would really, buy into this way of living and doing things, I would just say look at Santa Claus for an example. You know, it don't take much. You tell a kid one thing a couple
Oh
times,
yeah.
and the next thing you know, that's what they know their whole life until something significantly, uh, you know, different or contrasting changes that. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff that you've known since you was a kid to be true. The longer you know it, the harder it is to let go of it.
That's true.
So that's why you got so many people out here in terms of society. It's
Without
just like,
conscious effort,
definitely, yeah. I mean, I think everything requires,
everything requires conscious
yeah,
effort.
some level, whether it's conscious or subconscious, it's a form of conscious, right?
Well, sadly, the subconscious just rules
Right.
if you don't pay attention and actually be conscious and make that conscious
Your
decision to be
distinction
aware.
is understood.
Thank
Agreed.
you.
I
Well,
got you.
maybe to you, but
No, I got you. No, that's fair enough. Clear, let people know. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we here to do, to talk about this stuff, and not just. It ain't just about y'all hearing us go on and on about it. Like, again, things that you and I've talked about has helped put me on the path. What was homie name? Dave
David
Icky.
Icke, yeah,
David
David
Ike.
Icke, where he was talking about, you talk about the maritime law.
Definitely that, but he had some other stuff. You put me onto
Oh,
a couple of heads,
oh
bro.
yeah, he talks about a lot of stuff.
Could you even maybe break down who he is, just so people who don't even know I'm saying his name wrong? We might,
No, David Icke, yeah, Icke is
yeah.
his last name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just, he's like alternative source. He's an alternative source for information. Like there's
Can,
a lot of alternative information sources. I think he's
quick question.
European, like
He's British, if I'm not mistaken.
British, yeah, like
But quick question though.
it's
So
Brit.
you
I
said
think he's
alternative,
English.
right? English might. No, that's Australians. I'm messing it up. My bad. Hold up.
I think
The
they say mate too. They say mate though.
Yank or something. I don't know. I'm messing it up. I've been watching Ted Lasso here and there, and I'm still not
Wanka. It's
Wanker. That's one of
wanka maybe you're
Wank.
looking
Yeah,
for.
but that's like a jerk off. But that's not like a cool thing to call
Fucking
somebody.
wanka.
That's fucked up. Oh, bad. But hold up, though. I'm all up point. The question I was gonna ask you though was because you said alternative source.
Yeah.
David Ike. Can you kind of get into though, like what was maybe the catalyst? What made you listen to him? Was it that you knew about him first, or you heard something he said and then you like? Can you break that down?
Man, I can't even remember when I first heard of him or saw him, to be honest with you. I've been watching his stuff for some years now. I don't remember how I found him, but I
Okay.
do know that anytime I find some kind of alternative source like that, it's either through somebody posted it on social media and I don't even follow that person maybe, and they posted a link and I happen to click it and watch it and find
Got
out
you.
that this person has other information as well, because I just continue to look at other things that they talk about too, to see, first of all, I want to feel their energy because I want to see
Hmm.
if I can even feel like I can believe or trust anything that they're saying.
Right.
And I can usually do that just by like watching a few or even really one episode of somebody or two episodes of somebody. I can
Got you.
usually pretty much tell if they're bullshitting or if they're really walking the talk, you know.
Got you.
Um so that's how I would find any source. It would just be somehow, some way. It's either through a source before that, or you
Hmm.
know, I might just be um something somebody else told me about. I mean, there's so many ways to find
No, I hear
alternative
you. But I guess
sources.
I'm
You know,
wondering.
and another thing too is you have to be careful how you search when you're online. If you're just searching randomly in Google, you will get different search
Results. Hmm.
results, thank you,
Hmm.
than if you were to use like DuckDuckGo as
Got
your
you. Yeah.
search engine.
Good point.
um so like to get a uncensored version of your search results, I would suggest that you use DuckDuckGo. If you don't know how to use DuckDuckGo, you go into your URL bar, and there's a little eyeglass. You click the little eyeglass, and it actually gives you the option for, I think, Bing, Google, DuckDuckGo. And if not, you can always just literally Google search DuckDuckGo and you
Right.
can go from there, which is funny as hell. But you
Right.
can. But the cool thing about DuckDuckGo is not only do they not censor your search results, but they also don't follow you. Like, they don't allow things to follow
Tracking.
you. They don't
Yeah.
track you
I
and
got you.
what you search and what you are looking at. And
Understand that.
they don't care about that type of shit. They're not there for that. They're there for you to search. They're
Quick
there to
question.
be utilized for what they were made for.
Right. How about that? No, I was gonna say though, just to backtrack on the David Ike question, it wasn't so much that I wanted you to really pinpoint exactly where, but I was just more so curious. Like, give you an example. So Russell Brand, right? He's
Yeah.
somebody who I've been sharing some stuff with you as of late. Um, I've known of Russell Brand for a long time as a comedian and a couple comedic movies he was in or whatever, but never until within the last probably year or so had I heard him speak on like real, you know,
Another of
and
my favorites.
that's not to say he hasn't been doing it because
I
come to
watch a
find
lot
out
of his videos. I
he been
like
doing
him.
this for decades. It seemed like now, but I'm just getting hip
Yeah,
to
and
it,
he does
and
a
so
lot of cool shit too. He does like meditation and shit too. It's really dope.
right, yeah. So it's a very expansive amount of things that he does. But what grabbed my attention about him in particular is because he literally was talking about topics that I was literally looking up. And so
Oh,
when I
okay.
came across him talking about it, I was kind of shocked to see of all these different big, media types. And I figured, hey, well, being, British or whatever he is, he's either British or Australian or something, right? Uh,
Yeah, he's from England.
British. Okay, so I figured maybe that
British.
might play a part, but I just knew I was kind of like, wow, this dude is supposed to be one of the ones that's in on the fix. He's supposed to be one of these actors or
Yeah.
Hollywood, and here he is putting it out there. And I mean, hey, it could be a pump fake or whatever, but the fact of the matter is he's speaking on it. He's putting out these pieces and these this information in a similar way to which I'm kind of figuring it out myself, I guess. So you know
I
that
mean, he is an actor.
Right.
He could be acting. If he is,
Right.
he's doing a damn good job.
True. I agree. I thought
And I
about that.
salute him at this point because he comes with some really great information and a lot of really great perspectives.
Agreed.
So,
But that was just a contrast. So David Ike,
right.
like, what's the first thing you heard him say or talk about that you can recall that really was like, yo, this dude, I gotta listen to more stuff. Anything you can remember? Nothing. Not really.
Man.
Would it be the video you sent me on the
No,
maritime
that's
stuff?
the maritime law. That's not
Yeah.
the first thing that I heard about him. No, because
Yeah.
I started listening to him a few years ago, at least. But he talks about every fucking thing. He talks about now he's probably talking about the Bang Boogie.
Right. He definitely does talk about the Bang Boogie quite a bit, actually.
You know, he always just talks about your rights and things that are funny, and why are certain people collaborating with one another behind closed doors and without your knowledge, and talking about things, but whilst talking about things that directly affect your life because they are literally your life. Why are certain people allowed to control the media and everything that's said on it? Why are certain people persuading what's said on the media? Like,
Right.
who wins in certain situations? Like, he asks you to pay attention, to question what you see and what you're told, and to dig deeper.
Yeah.
And look. This is one of my favorite things. I don't know if I necessarily got it from him, but this is one of my favorite things is like to say about that would be always look who has something to gain.
Right.
And when you look at who has something to gain and how much they're gaining from a scenario, it really just the money trail always leads you back.
Yep.
The money always leads you back.
That was a line from Rush Hour 2. Chris Tucker said it to Jackie Chan, something along those lines. He said, "Follow the rich white man with the money," or something like that. That's how you know what's going down. And I don't want to just pin the person in being white. Just follow the money. There's a lot of rich people out there, all different shades of colors, but the money is what's making the whole world move. And it ain't. It used to just be the U.S. dollar. Now it's scary to be quite a few different types of currency. So that's another conversation for another time.
Man, facts. I was having this conversation with my son recently too. Me and my kids have a lot of real life conversations, real world shit. You know what I'm saying? But talking about currency and shit and how that shit could just be changed so easily. Like they could literally tomorrow be like, the dollar doesn't mean shit anymore, and we're no longer accepting it as a form of trade. Now you have to trade via fill in the fucking blank.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You sound like a conspiracy theorist. Don't say that.
Call it what you will.
That couldn't happen.
But like literally they could do that. Like we were talking about digital digital
currency, yeah.
currencies, and how effective that is, because like, right now I could still go to the local store or whatever and use cash. Cash cannot be retracted. Cash cannot be shut off. It has to be physically removed from you.
Yeah.
So digital currency is not that way at all. Motherfucker could be like, you said what? Click, shut her off. And it was so funny because my son was like, wow, that's really probably that. I could see that actually being a thing. Like people would say like, oh, don't say that or they gonna shut your money off.
Heck yeah. And they already saying that with the jobs, which is how you get the money. Listen.
Exactly. You know what's so crazy is because motherfuckers like, I don't know, the head man in charge, you know what I'm talking about? He said out his own mouth that they actually don't have the power to force people to take that or to force people to fire people if they don't take it.
They don't.
Which we already know that, but like he actually said it out his own mouth.
Listen,
So
we
that means that
caught
he
them
knows
quite
it
a few
too.
times. You just sent me quite a few videos and links, which is something we're gonna definitely share. In this space as we
Yeah.
continue to talk about different things. But I mean, plenty of times, these individuals have said one thing and printed it in multiple forms, publicized it, and then 3, 4 weeks later came back and said that what they said was not law. They did not have the
Right.
grounds to make people do anything, and this is really a voluntary thing. But that does not get publicized as much.
No, of
So
course not. That
you
doesn't
know
fit the. That doesn't fit the
that's
mold
why
or the
it's
mood.
important. That's why it's so important to have spaces like this because a person like yourself, like myself, who's thinking that don't sound right. I'm
Hmm.
not responding and doing what a person tell me to do. That don't sound right. Whereas
Right.
somebody else who's wired to do what they told to do, not even thinking does it sound right to do, that's the person who's targeted. And they don't have a community of people who say, hey, yo, you ain't think about that? That didn't sound weird or off to you, no way, shape, or form.
Right.
Sometimes people be like, yeah, it did sound off. But since everybody else was doing it, I went along with it.
That's the problem.
Well, that's why it's communities
Therein
like
lies
this
the fucking problem.
where you can say to somebody boldly, and you can show them your hashtag on your t-shirt when we get the merch popping, but not for me. I ain't
That
doing
shit
this.
is monotony.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think with time people understand that it's okay to say no.
Yeah, they need to say no. It's important to say. Not only can you, it's important to say no.
Yeah, sometimes you have to. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And anytime that a motherfucker tells you that it's not about your rights, it's about protecting you or it's about your health. Anytime it's not about your rights, it's about anytime you're being forced, it's about your rights, god damn it. And
Yeah.
anytime you're giving up rights for anything, I don't care what it is, it's not okay.
Yeah, definitely. I
And
mean,
it
you got
needs
to.
to be it should be high alert. It
Yeah.
needs to be highest regard. We need to be taking care of this. There needs to be action in place at that point. and we are
Agreed.
actually bound to that. We actually have an obligation to do that. We have an obligation to uphold and to fight against tyranny. We
Right.
we have an
Absolutely.
obligation to that.
Absolutely. Freedom isn't free. Ain't nothing free about it. You work for it every day of your life. You just don't realize it.
Right.
When somebody come up on you, and they try to physically coerce you or force you to do something you don't want to do, you would fight for it. You would run, which is a form of fighting for your freedom. You do whatever is necessary to avoid.
Yes.
So what happens is now you don't realize it, but it's a psyop, psychological
This is the
operation.
same kind of fucking shit.
But the thing is, it gets you in your mental. It
Mm-hmm.
don't have to get you in your real time if they get you in your mental. You
Right.
know. So that's why you had to have the mental fortitude to understand what is for you and what is not for you.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Exactly.
know. I mean, I think we giving them a sense, but only thing really time will tell. You know, maybe we get some feedback from folks. Everybody that's tuned in had a chance to check us out and let us know. It's not for you. You know what I mean? Not for me, but not for you. You know what I'm saying?
What's my not for you? Because we want to
We,
talk about it. We definitely want to talk about it because that's what we're here for. We're here to create, like Sick said way earlier, a safe space, a transparent space, a platform for the people to have a voice. So if something's not for you, we want to hear about it because we want to talk about it. And
right.
it's not for other motherfuckers too. So you feel me? Let's get with it.
Real talk.
Let's get with it. We're sick with it.
Sick with it. Melody motherfucking waters.
Yo, man. We're gonna wrap this up tonight because we're trying to keep it about an hour. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So we'll see you guys though next Monday.
We'll be back.
7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys come through. Everything social media. It's gonna be Monotfahme right there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go ahead and follow us.
Follow.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate y'all. Peace, love, and positive vibes. See you guys, and we'll see you next week, huh?
Peace.
Peace. Okay, I don't know how to end the thing. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm out, y'all. Peace.